Thank you so much for staying tuned. We still have the guests that are with me in the first discussion segment talking about the death of our Chief of Army Staff, the impact in the fight against insurgents. They share their views and, of course, their opinion on a particular topic. But right now, I want to take a look at the ban on open grazing Malami stand. Many people reacted, but this time around, talking about the Minister of Justice, the Federation. Yeah, he came out and he said his own opinions and views, certain examples from the Constitution. And of course, he made a comparison, but it didn't go down too well with so many persons. But some others are saying, yes, he makes a lot of sense. Does he? Questions upon questions. Money Mike, I'm going to start off from you. You are a Labour devotee, and of course, it was the Asaba Accord, so to speak, or the Asaba Resolution, as it's been termed. What do you feel about the reaction of Malami?
Well, I think the reaction, as far as having to compare the particular aspect I want to talk about right now, having to compare the open grazing issue vis-a-vis the cows to the Igbos, who are spare parts dealers.
But he never mentioned any tribe.
Hold on now. That's why I said I want to talk specifically on this area for now. The major spare parts dealers we have in this country, 98% of stock of spare parts dealers in this country, they are Igbos. Having to do that comparison, a national officer of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to me, it's a taboo, a sacrilege. Because if you watch that interview on channels, you discover that Malami, who has remained a very controversial minister all these years, became so nepotic, so tribalistic, and very un-Nigerian.
Well, if he said tribalistic,
hold on.
And of course very un-Nigerian,
yes.
He is a Nigerian, please.
Listen, I said I watched that television interview. I watched it. Sentimental person. He was so sentimental. The chief law officer of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. No matter how you want to turn the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria upside down, you are not in the judiciary. That you went as far as talking about freedom of movement, free movement. I know it too well that the Constitution did not recognize the cows, the animals, as as a replacement for human beings that can move freely. We have laws in this country that take care of animal husbandry. Animal husbandry. It's just like somebody who is close to this vicinity will tell you he's rearing goats. Then he allows the goats to move freely within the community and destroy people's crops here and there. Whether there is a law that says if you go into animal husbandry, they must be restricted. Then you keep on equating the animals to the human beings in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. A misnomer of the highest order. That notwithstanding, I think in that interview, Malami, in all aspects of the interview, did not speak as the Attorney General of the Federation. He spoke as Malami as a person. And he was able to leverage on all his sentiments to tell Nigerians who he truly is. That is not to say he's not entitled to his opinion. The angle I'm looking at it is as the national law officer of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You are aware there is maximum tension, there is maximum anger in the land. I didn't expect somebody like Malami to have come to a public television and be talking the way he was talking. If Malami had even issued a statement from the Office of Attorney General to say, yes, we are aware of the pronouncement made by the Southern Governors Forum, we shall engage them. The federal government will engage them. Or the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation will engage them. Invite them for a meeting. Draw their attention to what you consider to be the salient issues.
All right.
Just like what happened in the case of Amotekuden, when they all had to, the Southwest governor had to meet with him in Abuja. Attorney General, Solicitor General, and all of them met. Okay. That is what one would have expected the chief law officer of the Federation to be doing. To say, gentlemen, dear governors, is that you are getting it wrong this way. We understand the predicament you are faced with. But I want to say, if you go in this way, you will be offended this aspect, of the Constitution. Unfortunately, we have senior advocates of Nigeria and members of the Nigeria Governors Forum and the South Governors, the Southern Nigeria Governors Forum. Okay. Now you put your heads together and look at these things before you start making inflammatory statements.
All right, I will come back to you, Money Mike. Please watch your emotions. Calm down. Calm down. Squadron leader.
Yes, sir.
His comments. From what he said is nepotic. He didn't speak as the #1 lawman in Nigeria. He spoke as himself. That is his own analysis of the comment of Malami. What do you feel about that?
Whatever form he was talking, and first of all, I want to thank and appreciate the mass media, because if he had not appeared, who would know his mind? Yes. So appearing on the television or radio or whatever, or people writing on the newspaper, you get to know who they are. For me, Malami should have been sent out of that office immediately. We have been looking for people who are sympathizers or who are sponsors of Boko Haram, but gradually they are coming out one by one. I don't want to mention all their names. Some governors are sympathetic with them.
Because right now, if you say the man should leave the office, that means you're saying he should be sacked or he should resign. Yes. Many may differ from your opinion.
It is my opinion.
Even if it's your opinion, many people differ from it. Say, no, that's not the way they feel about that opinion.
They have right to express their opinion. My opinion is that the president should have sacked the man, because what he is doing, he's trying to create war. Because Southerners won't take it. Southerners have been a little bit quiet, but this time around, for the first time, the Southern governors came together. The Benue governor has also agreed with them. The Taraba governor has agreed with them. We have been looking for who are the sympathizers with Boko Haram. How many are these people that the whole military cannot conquer them, cannot overcome them? So gradually, we are beginning to see the people behind them. If the whole Minister of Justice can sympathize with these people, then we know who he is. As he rightly said, as my brother rightly stated, what the Southern governors are saying, they are not restricting the movement of people, but they are restricting the movement of cows, destroying our agriculture. Food items have risen so high now.
All right.
A few days back, I sent for, will you call it, beans balls, akara. And they used to buy 5 for 100 naira for me. This time they bought 3. I said, what's happening? The price going up.
All right.
It's all due to, excuse me, it's all due to what is happening
right now. Okay, thank you. Thank you. We'll return. We're going to hear from Honorable Desmond Ugbo, but not after this break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
TMI, every opinion counts.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's all about analyzing Malami's stand on the ban on open grazing. Honorable Desmond Ugbo, while they were speaking, you were thinking about the comment, and I could see it on your facial expression that it's like you're not too down with what the man said. I'm talking about our #1 man. We'll talk about justice in Nigeria. How do you feel about all this?
Very, very, very disappointing for the #1 law officer of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to speak in the way he spoke. Malami should realize that he is the Attorney General of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and not Attorney General of one particular tribe. I don't want to mention name. The way he's sounding.
Calm down.
It sounds as if he's representing a particular tribe in this country. And that goes to expose him to the world, the kind of advice he's giving to Mr. President. It has gone to show all the constitutional breaches so far committed by this government that is the man behind it. ranging from how he advised the president not to go and meet with the National Assembly, the fact that the president was outside the country and he said that he can administer from wherever he is, and so many other constitutional breaches. That shows that the man is the person teleguiding and misleading the president in his advice.
But you're not
because
sure of that.
the constitutional, the way he
You're not
interprets,
sure of that, even if it's your own opinion.
yes, it's my personal opinion, and I am very sure that the public are hearing and they know what I'm saying. And that the fact that this Mr. Malami has taken penchant for constitutional misinterpretation just to suit his own kind of person as a Malami, not as a Nigerian, not as the AGF. And recall that that statement, which is a taboo, he goofed to the extent that he began to compare spare parts market dealers with killer herdsmen. How on earth can you compare the two together when it is obvious that before you sell spare parts, you must have rented an apartment, and that you don't go with arms to escort your spare parts. You don't maim, you don't kidnap, you don't kill. There is nothing like spare parts rustling. There's nothing like having to get somebody to escort your cattle before you can sell them. All these are two worlds apart. That shows the kind of Attorney General is made up of. Today, we are aware that the activities of killer herdsmen is worrisome. That has attributed the insecurity that we are facing today. That you hear people being maimed, being killed, being raped, and that we loved the Fulanis as a people. That is the reason why every normal oga, in quote, need an aboki to stay in their gates as a megad or a security man. That is the love that we have for them over the years. But recently we're beginning to see that perhaps this set of people have been infiltrated with people with bad blood, who has premeditated motive to cause harm, to inflict injury, to inflict a kind of insecurity in our society today.
Right.
And today, the Attorney General just woke up from the wrong side of the bed and began to defend something that you cannot defend and speak the manner you spoke, and people are beginning, tongues are wagging, and people are beginning to react and condemning that which you have said. An indication that the man is the problem of the presidency. I made bold to say that.
All right, you just can't prove that. Okay, you can't say the man is a problem of the presidency. He's doing his job, and he spoke also citing the Constitution. I'll come back to you on that. Right now, there seems to be some persons for the governors, some persons for Malami. You know that this will cause a kind of heating up of the polity. It depends on the persons that this group of persons really want to follow. On one hand, the governor said, look, in the south-south region, southwest, southeast, ban on open grazing. And we have number one man in the Justice Department, so to speak, saying that is a breach in the Constitution. I don't think this just hits up the polity.
Well, it's a very big dilemma that we have found ourselves. But that doesn't stop the certain governors from going ahead with their plans. They should go through the state houses of assembly and do the needful, pass the laws. Benue has such a law, but the federal government, so to speak, has been touted to be frustrating the execution of such laws. But for the fact that the entire southern region has decided on it, the southern governors didn't say that cow rearing business should no longer exist in the southern states of Nigeria. They have only just said no more open grazing. Animal husbandry has its own rules. Therefore, whoever wants to do, let me also tell you that the cow you see everywhere here, they are not all owned by the Fulanis or the Hausas. Our indigenes also own some of these cows. Is that not true?
You are right.
So what we are saying is that it is a business that they are doing. They should go and formalize the businesses. Own a cattle ranch, own a plot of a space where you are able to curtail them to meet up with the animal husbandry rules and laws that are acceptable worldwide. That will even create more job opportunities for a lot of citizens. So that will help to avert this continuous movement and infiltration by both Nigerians and non-Nigerians who have now seen it as a very large money-making field of committing atrocities here and there, blood money of all kinds. So the southern governors are simply saying, no continuous movement, no destruction of crops, no raping of our women, no kidnapping for ransom, and no killing and maiming of our people. If that happens, even our own indigenous who are patronizing them in committing such crimes will know that the time is up. Oh. Therefore, the best thing for Malami to be thinking should be, how do we put hands together to solve this problem? And the governors are even alleged, especially those from the part of Nigeria, saying that those who are killing and maiming and kidnapping are not even Nigerian headers. They are headers from Mali, from other African countries who went through our porous borders. They came in and now they have transversed all the length and breadth of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The forests that does not belong to them, they are occupying all our forests all over. And if they were even occupying the forest and doing the business legitimately without having to go with all the illicit activities that are going on there, maybe we would have gotten to this destination we are. Okay. Therefore, every right-thinking Nigeria must be able to support the true spirit of the certain governors and some other governors who are saying no to open grazing. Therefore, let the governors go and formalize it through the law. The House of Assembly should pass such laws, such bills, and make it a law in their states. After that, if they are not ready to allow the federal law enforcers, like the police, to help the states to do it, then since there is a law, we form our own local police. We're already forming everywhere. There are local police in the north, his bar and all of them, they are existing in the north. They are performing functions similar to that of the Nigerian police. So if we have them here, they use that to enforce it. Right. But for our own indigenous who do this business, it should be leadership by example. By example? Yes. Okay. They should go ahead right now and reach out to the governments of their states and do the needful. Okay. So that foreigners will queue along with them. But if they are waiting for foreigners to start it before they do it, it means they don't also want this decision to work.
Now, if you take a look at Nigeria right now, even the Mayeti Allah, they are supporting what the South governors said. They said, look, we're fully in support of what you've just said. Some governors also said, look, our header should please come back to base. They don't think that by doing this, it's like them telling Nigerians that are not in support with what our #1 manager's department is talking about. And if it should be followed, do you think peace will eventually come to this country, Elder?
Yes, I'm optimistic that peace will reign in this country. When we were young, cattle were not moved by the road. They were moved by trains and trucks from the north to the south. Okay. And whenever we saw one around, we would all run and call our friends, come see cow, come see cow. But now we are living with these cows. In fact, even in GRA here in Benin, they are there. They move around from houses. They will eat the grass or flowers in front of your house. So it's a terrible situation. And if Mayeti Allah says, come back home, please, we welcome it. We welcome it. One other, I don't want to mention them, was talking. It's a kind of shame on them that in 21st century, they are still doing things that were done over 200 years ago. You don't have to travel all that distance to, as my brother said, could
discussants.
Yeah. Open grazing means movement of these cattle up and down during disruptions. Ranching means keeping them in an environment where they can move around the farm there and they produce whatever they want to produce. You buy. It's done everywhere abroad. In fact, you don't see, when my grandchildren came to Nigeria, they were amazed to see chicken running around You know, they come, you don't see it over there, the farms. It will improve their productivity and their profitability. Even those cows that are led through thousands of kilometers, they are infected with insects and cold. You know, we eat all these things and we don't know why we are dying.
All right.
You know.
So it's going to improve.
When they're in the ranch, they are taking good care of.
Okay. All right.
Vet doctors attend to them.
Yeah.
They produce good milk, good meat.
Okay. Now, despite the stand on the ban on open grazing, we still hear report of Benue State being attacked. Get to hear also some parts of Ondo State being attacked by these herders, so to speak. Do you think that this law, even if it is made into law, do you think it's going to work? Do you think it's going to cause something like a crisis in this region, Honorable Desmond?
It won't. It won't. The coming together of the southern governors is not new to the northern governors as well, because the chairman of the northern governor, Solomon Lalong, came out to say that the southern governor communique is not new to them. That around February 8th, they met, they agree that the way things are going with the insecurity in our land, that they can no longer continue with the open grazing system. After their meeting, which they stood vehemently against open grazing, they went to the president to communicate the president that look at our stand, an indication that they have since held that meeting and arrived at a compromise.
Yeah.
And they thought that the presidency will come out with a law, not knowing that even as state governors, the laws will allow them, as the chief security officers and the owner of the land in custody. Just like on Friday, a federal high court ruled in favor of the state governors to take charge of their lands. Recall that during the time of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, the National Livestock Transformation Plan, it was an executive bill, and they so packaged that program made to checkmate this open grazing saga. And when, the problem we most face in this country is continuity of laudable programs. When Muhammadu Buhari administration came, they corrupted it to RUGA, Rural Grazing Area Settlement. That settlement became the problem. Because the southern part of the country, we are apprehensive that when you give a particular land to the rearers of these livestock, it will become their own land by so doing, because they are going to appoint a Sariki who will be in charge inside your own land, and that has made it very, very, very difficult for people to accept. So I think what the southern governor has done, it is my advice that the governors in the respective states should move a step further to legalize it through the instrumentality of the state's houses of assembly, so that it become a law to avoid the mishap of the banning of motorcycle in Edo State, for example, where the chief executive just openly say it without necessary legal backing. And today, the law has since been reversed, and the state governors too should also do the needful by making sure that they pass it in law and make it binding on everybody with legal instrumentality.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Our time is up. There's been time for of summarizing your points, but we just can't allow that because of time. Okay, we'll appreciate you for your wonderful analysis. This discussion is a continuum. Let's see the fallout of the ban on open grazing, and of course the stand of Malami, if it's going to make things better. I will appreciate all of you being here with me for almost 2-3 hours now, right? I appreciate your wonderful analysis, all of you. We'll talk about payment later. Okay, that's it on the show this morning. Thank you so much for being a part of it. The discussion segment. Wow, they air their views, their opinion, which is entirely particularly theirs. It has nothing to do with ITV, but they spoke their mind, making sure the political and relations governing the airwaves. We'll do it again next week Sunday, God willing. Bye for now.